Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to Mullin It Over, episode 2. This one is going to be featuring Greg Kinn. How's it going, man?
What's happening?
Hey.
How's it going, guys?
So we're live on the campus of Heidelberg University at the Media and Communications Center, specifically in WTTF studios. I have the privilege of being able to use the studios in my off time if I need to, and it's going to be kind of a noisy weekend for me at home, so I figured I'd sneak away and be able to get a little quiet time here. So we got a few topics to discuss today. First of all, we really got to talk about the Cavs. As you can see, I switched it up a little bit. No Cavs gear today, going Indians. A little Cleveland Buckeyes action here today. So, Greg, what happened, man? Come on, what happened in Game 1? Like, I was so confident going into that game. I was like, this is going to be at least a close game. Wow, that was a buzzsaw.
I think that the Cavs needed to be challenged, and they didn't feel the pressure going into that game at all.
For sure, man.
They were too relaxed almost.
I can see it. Yeah. I feel like, they got good production out of the big three. You look at LeBron's game, obviously he had some turnovers that you don't like, but you look at the rest of his stat line, 28 points. I believe he had like 15 rebounds and like 6 assists or something like that. I don't have it in front of me, but that's from what I remember. I tried to block out as much as I could, but the good things that I do remember from that game was LeBron had a pretty decent game other than the turnovers. Kyrie had a pretty decent game other than a few unforced turnovers. And Kevin Love, they didn't really look for him a whole lot on the offensive end, but, he had, 20 rebounds or something in that game, 15 points? Their big three came through, but the disappointing thing is, other than that big three, they had really nothing going on, and it was just, it was so hard to watch, especially in the second half. It was just, I just don't know where to go.
That third quarter, you're only down by 8, and you got the hope. As being a Cleveland fan, as always, you got the hope, and that third quarter was a hard to watch.
Man, I go back to what, my mindset was going into that game and where I'm at now, and that's something I wanted to talk about. That's one of the topics that I have here to discuss today is, how is your confidence after Game 1? Are you shaken? For me, myself, a little bit. As you can tell in my voice, as you can tell with the way that the show's kind of set up today, I'm a little nervous. I think the thing that makes me the most nervous about what I saw in Game 1 is probably Kevin Durant. Let's just be honest. They shut down Draymond Green. They pretty much shut down Klay Thompson. Steph Curry had a hell of a game, but what really stood out to me was, one, their defense is just absolutely smothering, and two, good Lord, Kevin Durant.
Dude, made it look easy. He made it look like he wasn't even breaking a sweat.
My goodness. It was just, it was almost unfair.
You don't do that to the Cavs, man.
38 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 0 turnovers. 0. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
He was the golden boy in Golden State. That's for sure.
The thing that stands out to me, it's like, all right, the Cavs had 20 turnovers in that game. Golden State Warriors set a record for their fewest franchise turnovers. 4. 4 turnovers in the whole game. That tells me the Cavs weren't playing defense, and they weren't really that engaged on offense. To me, it's kind of depressing, Greg. I'm just telling it like it is.
I'm still feeling this thing, and, I'm waiting for tomorrow night. Hopefully I'll have a smile on my face.
Yeah.
Come Monday morning.
We'll see.
I'm still hopeful. You asked if the confidence is shaken. Obviously, I'm going to say yes, but will I show it? No.
Oh, absolutely. Right. Well, I'm showing it right here. That's why we're doing this, and I kind of like...
Well, this is private, guys.
Yeah. Friends only, right? So... Kevin Durant, we talked about the X factor with him. I think he's kind of the X factor in this series. If they can figure out a way to shut him down while also keeping their game plan intact with Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, they got a chance. But that's the only chance they got. Going into game 1, I was making fun of the fact that everybody was saying the Cavs had to play their best game and the Warriors had to play their worst game. I don't think you saw the Cavs' best game in Game 1. But I definitely think you saw the best of the Golden State Warriors. And here's the thing, they can get better because they didn't shoot that well. They played at an optimum efficiency level when it comes to offensive execution. And it just, to me, the Cavs have to turn it up. That's what's missing from Game 1. Their intensity is missing. There was no intensity when it comes to the defensive end of things in Game 1. Far too many times did I see they opened up in the lane and let Kevin Durant have a wide open jam or whatever.
Playing it safe, man. Playing it safe, let him get that 2 instead of that 3.
Man.
But I mean,
I think that's exactly what it is, man.
It still stings. He's just walking up there, smile on his face, backpedaling with a big old grin.
Yeah.
It's like, that was easy. I'm making these guys look like fools.
Right? All right, well.
Can't do that.
Anyways, so let's move on from the Cavs. I wanted to kind of get everybody's feel. Drop some comments in the comment section. Share the video, please. Help me out. Let's share this and get the reach out there and try to reach more people. But I want to know what you feel about the Cavs. Can they steal a game in Oakland? Whether that's tomorrow night or whether that's Game 5, which means they'd have to win 1 or 2 in Cleveland. Do you think they can steal one in Oakland? I know some people out there are laughing at me for even asking that question because they won 2 out of the last 3 at the end of that series last year. This is a different team. They didn't have Kevin Durant. They have a different team now. That's an X factor that they didn't have last year. He's not Harrison Barnes. Okay, Harrison Barnes disappeared in the finals last year. Kevin Durant didn't disappear in Game 1, and I damn sure don't think he's going to disappear in the rest of this finals. Just saying. So, did your confidence take a hit after Game 1, and do you think they can steal a game in Oakland? Drop a comment in the section. Let me know. So, let's move on. Talk about Browns. I see you got your Cleveland Super Team shirt on here. All right, so coming off a 1-15 season, Browns get the number 1 pick in the draft.
Not so super.
Go and get the best overall consensus player, Myles Garrett. And first few days in the off-season training camp, OTAs, organized team activities, if you will. Myles is MIA. What's going on, Greggy?
I read that he has a sore foot.
Oh, Jesus. Come on.
And, they're downplaying it a lot. They're saying it's nothing, no big deal. He'll be back out there. Hughes says, that everybody's chomping at the bit, wanting to see him. But he's like, we're just going to take it easy. We're not going to force it.
Man.
So here's
number 1 overall pick. He
He
can't even get out there for OTAs.
So it's like everything's a scare anymore.
Here's the thing. OTAs are pretty much nothing more than like a formality. You're going out there in shorts and you don't even have pads on. It's basically so the media can get a good look at you. That's what it is. That's what OTAs are all about. It's the media being able to get their interviews and their questions. And what I feel like is the Browns are guarding against this. They don't want this guy creating any more bulletin board material. After what he said about Ben Roethlisberger and then the whole back and forth with Roethlisberger, they don't want this guy creating any more bulletin board material, especially in May. So, is it a foot thing? Maybe. Was he out the game before? The day before the first OTA, he was in the Cavs warm-up line in pregame activities doing layups, dunking the ball. Just saying, is he really hurt, or did they just want to guard this guy? I don't know. I guess we'll see. Another injury. Yeah, it's the Browns. Don't. We got to stop that. Come on now. We can't.
I'm just saying you can't put anything past the Browns, man.
No. We got to stop that attitude. All right. So here's the thing. So if you're watching, please. I see we got 3 live viewers. Please share the video. It helps us reach more people. More people will tune in. So please, if you're watching, share it. Get the content out there. You're helping us out a lot. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. We got another Browns injury to talk about, and then I'm going to get into some local topics, some Tiffin topics. All right, so I know there's a lot of people tuning in right now that probably aren't sports fans. See, Reese Keller, Lisa Robinson, Aaron Sally, Shannon Fellers, they're probably not big sports fans. So we'll get into some local topics here in a minute. So please share the video, help us get the word out. But right now, we got one more injury I want to talk about, and it's Corey Coleman.
Again.
So we talked about our number 1 pick this year. Now we're talking about our number 1 pick last year. Now he wasn't the number 1 overall pick, but number 19 in the NFL draft last year. Corey Coleman was expected to be a difference maker, and he came in his first 6 games before he got injured, and he pretty much was a difference maker.
Yeah, I mean,
remember that game where he had 6 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns?
He definitely carries a spark, man.
He was a lightning bug, like definitely lightning in a bottle. Then he got hurt, and then he had a hard time getting back. Not necessarily, it wasn't speed related. It wasn't any lower extremities. It was a hand issue, I think, wasn't it?
I think he broke his hand.
Broke his hand or something in practice. Had a hard time getting back from that. Even when he did come back, had a hard time catching the ball, which obviously break your hand, come back from that, it's going to be hard to catch the ball. I understand. But you come out in first week of OTAs, and from what I understand, this is what happened. Catches one of the best deep balls that's ever been thrown this year in OTAs, which was from Brock Osweiler, which is why they keep saying he's looking good. Catches the best Brock Osweiler deep ball of the day and comes down on it and breaks his rib. Now, they haven't said that he broke his rib. Now, you didn't hear that from me, but from what I understand, he cracked his rib. Fell on the ball and cracked his rib, and he's also got some kind of lingering something or other up. I don't know. So you got your number 1 pick from last year and your number 1 pick from this year, both injured. Not a good start to the season, Browns. Come on. Got to get with it. Let's go.
I need to fire on all cylinders, man.
Yeah.
I need all them pieces.
Well, and here's the thing. You need all those pieces in order to win 7 games. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best case scenario. All these pieces put together, you can win 7 games.
You're going to get me all choked up now. You just say 7 games, man?
I'm just saying, that's what could happen.
Christmas.
That's probably your best case scenario. Christmas, yeah. So, I see a couple new people join. Tommy, Brian, welcome. Thank you. Please share the video if you would. It helps a lot. More people will tune in. 5 listeners or viewers now. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Now we're going to talk about local topics. Greggy, I want to ask, have you seen the yarn around Tiffin, all over town?
Yeah, I've seen it on different fixtures throughout downtown and stuff.
Okay, so it's mainly downtown, not all over town, just downtown,
Yeah,
right?
I've seen it on a lot of things down there.
Okay, so what do you think about it?
I mean, it looks like art to me, and art's fine with me. I like, why have things be boring? I don't want to see boring things.
Okay.
Liven it up. It's cool with me. I don't care. Ain't hurting nothing.
Okay, so let's talk about it just a little bit. I want to explain it for those of you who maybe are unfamiliar with what I'm talking about here. There's a guy in Tiffin who's doing yarn bombings. This has been done in bigger communities, but it's now being done here in Tiffin. It's where he makes essentially sleeves for objects within downtown Tiffin. He started out, I don't know if some of you might remember, he yarn bombed the tree right outside of Fat Cakes a few years ago. It was a couple years ago, and there was like sleeves around the branches and stuff of the tree, and so he did that, and it was cool. But the tree kind of grew and damaged it, and they had to take it down. So he decided it's probably not best to do that on a live object, so let's start doing it on inanimate objects, all right? So he started out by doing, I believe, the first one was a trash can. No, the first one was the bike rack, right outside of Bailiwick's. Name drop. So right outside Bailiwick's, he does the yarn bombing. The first one is on the bike rack. Really rainbow colors, very bright, vibrant. Looks cool. I thought it looked really cool. Caught my eye right away. I was like, hey, that's really cool.
At first I thought it was painted like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, and then I realized, I was like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah. So I thought it was really cool. And then I think he got some positive feedback on that. So then he decided, well, let's do more. Let's take this further. So now he decides, well, now I'm going to do a lamppost. And then I'm going to do a trash can. And then he decided to do, I think
It's like a horse tie-up?
Yeah,
Oh,
then he
steel
did,
horse
I believe there was
ties.
like 27 of those horse ties downtown where they used to tie the horses to. 27 wraps. They're like pretty much like, they look like leg warmers, kind of. Like little yarn leg warmers. And he put them on almost all, I think every one of the horse ties downtown. So he does that, and that's what really elicited some response from the community. You know, at first, the bike rack and the trash can and the lampposts, whatever, not really that noticeable. But then he does all the horse ties, which 27 of them downtown, that's going to be noticeable. So then, now all of a sudden you get a little bit of an uproar. All of a sudden people have opinions. You know, people say, well, it's this, it's that, I think it's this, I think that. And so that's why I asked, what do you think about it, Greg? You know, like, I want to know how you guys feel. Drop a comment in the section. Let me know how you feel about these yarn bombings, because I'll let you guys know how I feel about it. And also, for those of you who don't follow Facebook that much, I mean, there was a little bit of a comment war, I guess, if you will. Somebody asked how everybody felt about it. I defended how I felt about it, which I think is pretty cool. And people didn't like that opinion. People thought they were, quote unquote, trashy, which I thought was a really strong word, because I don't see how it's trashy. Like, it's art, but it's not trashy.
That's
a pretty damn strong word.
I tell you, man, there's so many, like, you go downtown, there's so many beautiful buildings, and there's just so many things to look at in general that, like, you barely even really notice it, to be honest. Like,
Exactly.
It's there if you're looking for it, but, you know, you gotta really looking for it. Like, it's not like somebody's spray painting graffiti or something like that. It's harmless.
Exactly. So, like I said, I want to know how you feel about it. Drop your comment in the section, and let me know what you feel about the yarn bombings. They happen in bigger communities. They're happening now here in Tiffin. He's going to do more. He just did the Frozone bench, I think, out front, and then did a post out in front of Putt and Pita. So there's more coming. He's working on more. Let me know how you feel about it. Is it art? How do you feel about art and basically like vigilante art, where essentially it's not the city doing this. It's some random person just deciding, hey, we need more art in our community. I'll tell you how I think about it. I love it. And I think more people need to embrace it. More people need to embrace doing things like this in your community. You know, I don't understand why it's such a big deal. Why some people are so vehemently against it.
Why do you want to be bored?
For real, like,
boring.
liven up, people. Get over yourselves. It's yarn.
Have fun.
I mean, it takes 2 snips and it's gone. I don't know. I'm getting worked up over nothing.
Worked up over yarn.
Exactly. Worked up over yarn. See, this is what I'm talking about. So, all right. So we'll ditch the yarn topic. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about the yarn. Now let's move on. Another local topic, which I'm passionate about and I'm actively involved in, Tiffin Music and Art Festival. Specifically, you know, obviously, people are aware that we had a name change last year. We're now the Tiffin Music and Art Foundation. But now we're going to talk about the event, the Tiffin Music and Art Festival. Every year for the last 5 years, we've been doing the festival out at the park, out at Hedgesboyer Park. And, you know, it's been a great success over the years. We've had some really good turnouts. But I think over the last year, over the last 2 years, we've had a little bit of a downturn in turnout. It's harder to get people out of their homes, let alone out to the park. So we decided that it's best for exposure and best for the long-term success of the event to move it downtown. So we approached the city about our plans. We gave them what we wanted to do. They came back at us with what they wanted to do, yada, 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 so forth. To this point now, we've decided that, you know, we're going to be downtown, County Commissioner's parking lot. We've got all the paperwork approved. Everything's submitted. Everything's good to go. So now we're in the process of booking bands. We're in the process of booking vendors. We're in the process of booking artists for the art walk that we want to do. And that's why I brought this up. It's because I want to bring this up, and I want you guys to reach out to us. If you either are an artist or know an artist who wants to be involved in things like this, it's a nonprofit event. Everything that we do with this event, whatever's left over, after all of our expenditures, we contribute it to a TMAF scholarship fund. And it's for any student in the area that's going to school for art. Whether that's music or fine arts or graphic design or, anything that has to do with the arts, we're trying to encourage growth in our community, in the artistic community. So what we're trying to do is spread the word, and that's why I wanted to bring this up now. I wanted you guys to try to help us out. Spread the word, share this video, and get a hold of us. If you want to be involved with the Music and Art Festival this year, we need volunteers. We need staff members that want to come to meetings and help us plan this thing. And like I said, we need the things that's going to help fill the space. We got all of Madison Street between Jefferson and Washington Street closed off. We're going to try to have some food vendors, art vendors, crafters, all along that street in front of Madison Street Tavern, which will still be open Friday and Saturday. And then we also have what we're calling a Spirit Oasis this year instead of the beer garden. We've applied for an F2 permit as opposed to the F1, which will allow us to have, instead of just beer, now we'll be able to serve wine and liquor. So we're trying to work with some local crafters and trying to work with some local winemakers and some local high spirit makers and see what we can do to try to maybe spice it up a little bit this year as opposed to just beer. Now we're bringing a little bit of the local flavor, and we're trying to keep it all Ohio this year if we can. So more updates to come on that, but that's where we're going with the Music and Art Festival this year. I just wanted to let you guys know that, it's not just because you haven't heard updates from the page doesn't mean we're not working behind the scenes on trying to get things done. There's a lot of behind the scenes red tape bullshit we have to deal with, and it's probably better if we just keep that off of social media. So that's where we're at. And we're moving forward, talking to some bands about booking their headliner. And if you know anybody who you want to see, drop it in the comments section. I'd be more than happy to try to reach out to them. I've done it in the past. It worked with Hawthorne Heights. So you never know. If it's feasible, I'll try for sure. So let's move on. I want to talk a little bit more about this podcast and what it is and what I want it to become. Now, obviously, this is started out as a podcast. And I did the audio version first, which was okay. Obviously, I've done podcasts before, but this one was a little different. Trying to tackle all kinds of different subjects, as opposed to just sports, which I've done in the past. I've done sports podcasts, but never broad podcasts like what we're doing now. And then it ventured into the video realm because, my equipment wasn't up to the task for the audio, and people were complaining about having to download the SoundCloud app in order to listen to the podcast. So I figured, everybody's got Facebook.
I mean, this is more entertaining anyway.
Yeah.
I'd rather always watch something than listen to something.
Absolutely. And now we can take this anywhere. We can take this to someone's location like we have here. The first video I did was from sitting in my living room on my couch. The next one here is on the campus of Heidelberg University at the Media and Communications Center here in WTTF Studios.
And the next one could be at your home.
Exactly. We could. For sure. That's what I'm trying to that's where I'm trying to segue this topic into is Tiffin University. Brad Reese. I recently saw him out and about. I forget exactly where it was that I saw him, but I saw him out and about. And I said, it was at Fat Cakes. We were in Fat Cakes the other night for dinner. And I saw him in there. He was in there for the music event that they have every Thursday night at 7. This week it featured Tyler Chafee, Timber Run. Really good. I'm really sorry, guys, that I had to dip out when I did. I wanted to stick around, but little guy was getting a little antsy, so just had to go home. But anyways, I saw Brad, and Brad was mentioning the new facilities that they're building at Tiffin University. The music facility specifically, obviously, he's heavily involved in the construction and the engineering process and everything, laying out the mapping of the new facilities. And he was talking to me about how, it's planned to be done mid-July. They want to have everything ready for the fall semester. So he invited me to bring the Mullin It Over podcast, or the Mullin It Over live broadcast. I don't know what you want to call it now. It's not really a podcast anymore. To bring Mullin It Over to Tiffin University to tour the new facilities. I thought this was really cool. And I was telling Greg about it, and I wanted to tell the listeners about it. I think this is a really cool opportunity to get an in-depth perspective of what's going on in your community, a little behind the scenes of what Tiffin University is building. And it's an opportunity for this Mullin It Over pod and this Mullin It Over video broadcast to go to another level, to take it to a place where it's not just sports. We're not just here talking about the Browns and the Cavs. We're always going to talk about that because that's what I'm passionate about. But this is broad. We're going to talk about everything, and I want to talk about everything. And I want your feedback. I want you to tell me, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? I'm mobile. I can take this anywhere. This setup is very mobile friendly. So anywhere you want to see Mullin It Over, maybe you want to tour some new facilities, maybe you want to ask some questions to some business owners, drop it in the comments section. Let me know. Who do you want to see? Who do you want to hear from? And I'll try to line it up. If I can, I will. Trust me. I'm going to try for it. I'm persistent when it comes to something that I want to do.
I think that's what makes your podcast or cast or whatever you want to call it unique, is because, like you said, it's not just a sports-related thing. It's because you said you're going to talk about the Cavs and things like that because you're passionate about those things, but you're passionate about this town.
Absolutely.
And that's what
I think that's pretty obvious.
You're getting at here. Is like,
yeah.
Let's be involved in depth with our own town. Like, I love it.
Absolutely. And I can't be involved if I don't have the opinions and comments from people within the community. I need to know how you feel about what's going on in our town. What do you want me to talk about? Who do you want me to go possibly ask some of the tough questions that maybe the news reporter's not going to go ask? Tell me. Let me know. This is going to be, there's so much potential with this, and I don't want to limit it by any means. So if you have any ideas, drop it in the comments section, please. I'm anxious. I want to know how you feel about this. So there we go. That was the second to last topic. Now the last topic is, I try to leave the last ones to those who comment on links or posts or statuses or whatever. For those people who say, what they want me to talk about. Okay? So when you drop a comment, this is the segment of the video where I'm going to talk about it. So one comment that was dropped on Facebook, it was a while ago. I don't know if he was joking or not, but Jim Smith, I saw him tune in a little bit ago. I don't know if you're still tuned in, but he wanted to know, goobers or Raisinets? And I thought this was a good spot to talk about this because Wonder Woman's this weekend. The new Wonder Woman movie is debuted this weekend, and I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on the movie so far. It's only Saturday, and already it's a DC movie, so there's already going to be some skepticism going into it.
Right.
And so there's already mixed reviews. I think a lot of these are Marvel fanboys that give the mixed reviews. But at the same time, I'm not either one of those. Like, I'm not a DC or a Marvel. I don't have a horse in this race. I don't really care.
I'm just a fan of good movies, man.
Absolutely. And what I know is that, out of all the Marvel and superhero movies that I've watched, two have stood out to me. One is Iron Man and the other one's Man of Steel. I don't know what it is about the whole steel iron thing, but I don't know. Those two movies were the best out of either franchises for me because they had a unique story involved. It wasn't just about the superheroes and what they can do and how they can fly and how many different characters we can cram into one movie. It was about a story and building the story behind these characters so that it supports the character.
It's like how they became.
Exactly. And that's what I love. I love those origin stories. Yeah, absolutely. I want to know more about that kind of stuff. So the Wonder Woman thing, I want to give it a try. I want to check it out. And if you already have, drop your comment in the comments section. Let me know what you feel about it. But right now, the question is, goobers or Raisinets? Greg, come on.
To tell you the truth, I don't know what exactly is in goobers.
They're chocolate-covered peanuts, man.
Oh, they're peanuts?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then the goobers all day.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah. Goobers all the way, all day. Come on, man. And, while we're at it, let's talk a little bit about movie theater. etiquette here. All right. So, what do you like to do when you go to movies? Do you like to load up on their candy, or are you like me? Do you like to wear your cargo shorts, stop at Dollar Tree on the way, and load up with about $4 or $5 worth of candy that would have cost me about $30 at the movie theater?
Man, yeah. I mean, I totally love getting a matinee ticket and then spending $60 on a small popcorn and.
I still buy popcorn and pop. But I'm not buying your candy.
No.
Not when I can get that at Dollar Tree for $1 a box. I'm sorry.
And that stuff's almost like, what, $4 plus?
Dude, every box is at least $3. Yeah. I don't even bother. It's just ridiculous.
But you can't pass up on the popcorn because that's a dagger, man.
Yeah.
They always get you with that.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't gonna sneak your own popcorn, right?
Yeah, come on now. Like, I brought a microwave behind me, dog. Hey, stand behind me real quick. I'm gonna plug this.
Big old trench coat. Bags of microwave popcorn just strapped to the inside.
Doing Jiffy Pop in the back of the theater. So, drop your comment in the comment section. What do you feel? Goobers or Raisinets? We've already said Goobers. That's what it is. Other than those two, what's your favorite? What do you like to take to the movie theater? When you go to the movies, what's your go-to?
Ooh, the movie theater. Sometimes, because it's a movie and you're gonna be there for a while, I like to go with like a harder candy, maybe like a Goth Stopper or something like that.
Yeah, all right.
It'll last for a while, because I mean, you get me like some Reese's Pieces, man, I'm gonna swallow that whole box in like 10 seconds. I'm not even through the previews yet, and I'm like, I'm out of candy. This sucks. It's
all right. Good. So that's like your go-to is like the hard candies to make sure you got enough to last it through the whole movie. All right.
I'm playing it out.
Feel that? All right. Well, I got 3 kids, 3 little dudes, and they always bring their own candy. So usually I kind of just pick one bag, and then I'll kind of sample off of theirs too, So my go-to almost every single time is Twin Snakes. Now, I don't know about you, but has anybody else out there ever heard of Twin Snakes? They're new. It's relatively new. It's a gummy worm, all right? And they're Haribo Twin Snakes. These are like my go-to, the best of the best. They're only $1 at Dollar Tree. They're 98 cents anywhere else. Just a little bag, delicious. But you can't split them up and eat them separately because they're weird. One's sour and one's sweet. But when you stick them together and you eat them together, good Lord. They're like the best candy ever.
I think that I had one at your house before.
Oh, so good. They're so good. And Chelsea likes the little, what are they, the sour neon worms. Well, little sour crawlers. What do you want to call them?
See, I'm not even really
Those
into
are really
sour
good too.
Stuff, but when you mix it with the sweet, you can. It's a good mix.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so I think that's about it, Greggy. I talked about everything I want to talk about. What about you? You talking about before the show? You wanted to talk about something? By the way, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. And I want to remind everybody on the broadcast that if you ever want to come on, the seat's open. Come on in. We're always welcoming more people to come into the broadcast and be a part of Mullin It Over. So, thank you.
I guess I'd just say this is kind of weird and random, but I know some of the fan base that might be watching might like Mushroom Head.
All right, yeah.
If you like Mushroom Head, they're playing in Sandusky tonight at Bike Week, Saturday night, up at the fairgrounds, I believe.
You know what? Actually, I was thinking about checking out Bike Week tonight. I got the boys tonight. After I get done with this broadcast, I'm actually going to head home, grab a few things, and then go over pick up the boys. And I was actually thinking about heading out to Bike Week, checking it out.
There's so much stuff to do up there, man. Vendors, it's almost like another festival just in itself.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I've been to a couple of them, and it just depends on where you're at in Sandusky. But it's a really unique experience. Now, obviously, some of it can be a little gruff, I guess, is what you want to say, maybe. So there's some areas where you might want to know where you want to be and where you might not want to be. But it's a really cool thing to experience if you're going by yourself and you just want to kind of intermingle and check out things. It's cool.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
So, anything else you want to talk about, man?
I don't think so. It's so nice outside, man. I think we're just going to wrap this stuff up and
For sure.
We'll have some fun.
All right, so I want to talk about a little bit about the next podcast. I'm going to try to do these like every other day as opposed to every day. And I might do one tomorrow because of Game 2 being tomorrow with the Cavs. I haven't thought about it yet because I got a meeting tomorrow for the festival and a few other things going on. So I don't know if I'm going to do one tomorrow. But I am going to keep this up. We're going to keep going with this thing. And next week, I'm going to be live on location from Nelson Ledges, Quarry Park. We'll do at least a couple of podcasts or broadcasts on location from the park.
Man, I wish I was. Oh, wait. I will be.
Yeah. So, going to see a Pink Floyd tribute band, Led Zeppelin tribute band. I think there's a Tom Petty tribute band. A few friends of mine are coming with me. This is going to be a blast. So, I'll be live on location for at least 2, maybe 3, depending on how I'm feeling throughout that week. So
you're definitely going to want to check those ones out.
Yeah, those are going to be must-see Mullin It Over broadcasts. So that's about it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Please share the video, share, like the page. If you're seeing this on my personal page and you haven't liked my podcast page, come on, man. What's stopping you?
That's messed up.
That's messed up.
Thought you all was friends.
Show the love. Thanks, guys.